welcome back to my channel. My name is Rakshit Subramanya, a student studying at SVC. Today I am going to be talking on the topic interfaces and default interfaces in Java. So let's see. Interfaces in Java are a way to achieve multiple inheritance by allowing a class to implement multiple interfaces. So let us know what is the interface first. Let's have an introduction. So interfaces is used to define the classes that it is used to define the rules, or what to say, the contract which I have mentioned here, to adhere. The classes need to adhere certain rules or how they work. That is done by interfaces. So they specify a set of methods that must be implemented. Default interfaces were introduced in Java to provide a mechanism for adding new methods to the existing interfaces without breaking the classes and to implement them easily. So let's move on. Now let's see the benefits of interfaces. Interfaces allow for code reusability by allowing multiple classes to implement the same interface. They provide a level of abstraction allowing for loose coupling between classes. Interfaces enable polymorphism, allowing objects of different classes to be treated as objects of the same class, no matter or of the same interface type. So let's move on. Now let's see the syntax and usage of interfaces. To create an interface, you must use the keyword interface. So interfaces contain method, signature, constant variables, and the nested types. To implement an interface, we use the keyword which is followed by the interface name in the class declaration. You can see here in the picture, syntax is public class name implements interface name. So we use that and you define it. And you can see the example over there, that is public class bank account implements measurable, and you use it. So let's move on. Implementing multiple interfaces. A class can implement multiple interfaces by separating them with commas in the implement clause. On methods defined in the interface must be implemented in the class. If two interfaces define a method with the same signature, the class must not provide an implementation for that method. So basically, if two interfaces define the same method, the class must not the class must provide an implementation for that method. So here you can see in the picture some more examples of the syntax and how it is used. So let's move on. Default methods in interfaces. Default methods were introduced in Java to allow interface to have method implementations. Default methods are defined using the default keyword, which is used in the Java 8 version, which you see here, which is the Java 8. So default methods are defined using the default keyword within the interfaces, which is followed by the method or the signature of the body. The classes that implement the interface can choose to override the default method or use the default implementation. Let's move on. Now let's know some Advantages of default methods. Default methods provide a backward compatible way to add new methods to existing interfaces. They allow interfaces to evolve without breaking the existing code base. Default methods enable the addition of new functionalities to a large number of classes implementing the interface. So here you have a difference between the interface with default methods and the abstract class. As you can see, inside the interface, every variable is always public static final and there is no chance of instance variable. While in abstract class, there may be a chance of an instance variable. Instead of no instance variable, there is a chance of instance variable which require a child class. Again, interfaces never talk about the state of the object, while abstract class can talk about the state of the object. Inside interface we can't declare constructors, while inside abstract class we can declare constructors. Inside interface we can't declare instance and static blocks, while in abstract class you can declare instance and static blocks. Functional interfaces and default methods can refer to lambda expressions, while abstract cannot refer to lambda expressions. Inside interfaces we can't override object class method, while inside abstract class we can override object class method. So these are some of the differences which you might require in the test or whatever questions you might know. You will have an example here. So let's move on. Conflict resolution with default methods. Conflicts can occur when a class implements multiple interfaces with default methods having the same signature. To resolve the conflicts, the implementing class must provide an explicit implementation of the conflicting method. The implementing class can also choose to override one of the default methods to resolve the conflict. As you can see here, the conflict resolution strategies, some of them which are used are accommodating, collaborating, avoiding, competing, and compromising. These terms you might feel they don't relate to computer, but they do a lot. They do relate a lot. So let's move on. Static methods in interfaces. In Java 8, they also introduced the static methods in interfaces. Static methods can be defined in interfaces using the static keyword. Static methods cannot be overridden by implementing classes and can only be accessed using the interface name. So let's move on. Use cases of interfaces and default interfaces. Interfaces are commonly used in Java for achieving abstraction. Creating APIs and defining other contracts and different contracts are also a part of it. Default interfaces are useful for adding new methods to existing interfaces without breaking the implementation classes. They are widely used in Java libraries and frameworks to provide the extensibility and code reusability. Here you can see the implementation method which is used in class D in the picture here. So let's move on. What are the best practices for using interfaces? Keeping the interfaces focused on a single responsibility is the best to ensure clean and maintainable code. Using descriptive and meaningful names for interfaces will enhance the code accessibility, and being cautious when using the default methods because they can introduce complexity and potential conflicts. So it is good to be cautious about the default methods in interfaces. These are some of the tips you can have while using the interfaces. So in conclusion, interfaces and default interfaces in Java provide a powerful mechanism for achieving multiple inheritance and code reusability. They enable loose coupling and polymorphism and abstractions in Java. By following the best practices and understanding the usage, different programmers and developers can leverage interfaces to write modular and extensible codes. Hope you understood something in my video. Thank you.